Hello everyone and welcome back to another Jira Cloud Automation tutorial. In today's video, we're going to explain a feature that many Jira administrators overlook, that is the create variable action. Now, when you're building automation rules, you often find yourself repeating the same smart values multiple times. Maybe you're working with release versions or issue fields or values that you'll need throughout the automation. So instead of writing the same smart value over and over and over again, Jira allows you to store that information inside a variable and reuse it whenever you need it. Now, think of it like programming. Rather than repeating the same piece of information multiple times, you store it once in a variable and reference it whenever it's required inside the automation. So, in this tutorial, we'll learn how to create variables, access them using smart values, perform simple calculations, and see how they can make your automation rules cleaner and much easier to maintain. So let's get started without wasting any further time. So first, let's go to our create flow and create from scratch. Now, before we actually start building the automation, let's understand the problem. Let's imagine that your organization maintains three software versions at the same time. Let's call them previous release, current release, and next release. Now, whenever a critical bug is reported, the developer team needs to determine whether that bug also exists in the previous version or if it should be fixed in the upcoming release as well. Now, without variables, you'd have to repeat the same version information throughout your automation rule. Now, that makes the rule longer, harder to read, and more difficult to update later. Instead, we can store those values once and reuse them anywhere inside the automation. This makes the rule much more cleaner and easier to maintain. So let's start with our automation. So for today's demonstration, I'll use the work item transitioned trigger. The trigger itself isn't really important. Today, our focus is creating and using variables. I'll configure this trigger to whenever our work item is transitioned to in progress, and I'll just click on next. Now comes our main task or the main function of today. Inside actions, I'm going to choose something, an action that is called create variable. And boom, that's it. Now we are going to create three variables. The first one will name it current version. The second one will name it previous version. And the third one, I think we should name it next version. So let's just create our variables. So for the first one, I'm going to type in current version. The value, let's say the value, let's just type in some date. Okay. So January 2026. Next, we're going to create another variable. Create variable. After current version, we're going to type in previous version, and let's say the date was October 2025. Next, we're going to do the same for uh, cross action. We're going to do the same for next version as well. It's taking a while to load. Why am I going to row all the time? I just want an action. Yeah, variable, next version. And let's say the date is April 2026. All right. So all three of our variables are created. Of course, these input values are just examples. In real organizations, these values might come from custom fields or some real versions or other smart values instead of being typed manually and hard coded inside our automation, like I'm doing it right now. I'm just doing it so that our automation is simple and easy to understand. Now that we have actually created these variables, let's actually use all of them together. So to use them, I'll simply just add a comment on work item, and we're going to use these variables here. So for current version, the code is something like, I've actually copied this code, so I'll just paste it here so that I'm not wasting time typing this manually. Do you notice something interesting in this syntax, in this comment syntax? We are actually accessing these variables exactly the same way we access any smart values. Now, that's because variables essentially become custom smart values that exist only while this automation is running. This makes them incredibly easy to work with. Now, another example is that variables aren't only limited to storing these simple texts. Since they are smart values, we can also use smart value functions on them as well. For example, let's just click on next. For example, as we know, my current variable is January 2026. So let's say I only want the last two digits of this whole date. That is, I only want 26 to be printed inside my comments. So I can use a smart value inside my comments, this, and after this, I can actually use a smart value here, which is called current version. Of course, firstly, the name of our variable, then right bracket 2. Now, this extracts only the last two digits of my variable. The result that should print out inside our comments should be 26. Now, this is useful whenever your version names follow a consistent naming criteria or convention, because, yeah, it just makes accessibility easier for you as well. We can also do the same for previous version and next version, but we don't need to. We are just going to do that for current version currently. Now, let's take this one step further. Suppose I want the previous release year. Right now, the last two digits are still treated as text by our compiler, not compiler, by Jira. To perform these calculations, we first have to convert the value into a number, and we can do it with something like, let's say I want the previous version. So firstly, this version will be printed, and afterwards, I'm going to print the previous version by using another smart value. So first, of course, we print this down here. Then we use a smart value that is called as number. What we are doing right now is we are converting these texts that was 2026 into number format, and then we are going to uh, we're going to calculate the previous year using our current version. So as number, then minus 1 from that number. Now, firstly, Jira tracks 26 from our current variable. Then it converts it into a number, and then it subtracts 1 from our variable by these two smart values. Now, we can also use something similar to calculate the next version. Let's say our next version usually is 1 year away from our current version. So instead of minus, we can simply type in plus. And now what Jira will do is it will fetch your current version's last two digits, that is 26. It will convert them to number, and then it will plus a 1 to that number. All right. This is quite a simple example, but it demonstrates how variables and smart value functions can work together. Now, let's just click on next and save this. Save and enable variable tutorial. Turn on the flow. Okay. Also, you should change this to 2027 so that our version, not our version, so that our automation is right or correct, if you would say so. We'll duplicate our Jira and then we'll go to one of our work items so that we can actually use this automation and actually see whether this automation works or not. So inside testing 101, because I'm pretty sure there is no comments down here inside testing 101. Yep, there are none. Since our trigger was transitioning to in progress, we're just going to change the status to in progress, and that should trigger our workflow, or not our workflow, our automation. Just wait a few seconds. Yep, our automation was triggered. All right, so it printed current version. Let's go here so that we can actually double check this. Current version, the current version it printed was January 2026. Then it printed the right two, that is the last two digits of this whole thing, or this whole as a whole. Okay, 2026. Then it did not print previous version. Why did it not print previous version? Because my spelling was wrong. Previous. Okay. Okay. That's why I did not print previous version, but it should have printed the previous version if my spelling was correct. But yeah, my spelling, I spelled it wrong inside the create variable tab. That's why I did not print it. Now for the next version, it printed April 2027. Now coming back to our variables once again, did I mess up something somewhere? Because I'm pretty sure this current version, right, and as a number, there should be number. Why is it numbers? Okay. We'll click on next and we'll save again. We can't use the same ticket or to access this comment again. We'll have to use some other ticket. So let's go to bug 2. Let's hope there are not too many comments down here. Yeah, there are not too many comments. We'll transition it to do and we'll transition to in progress once again to check if our automation is working fine. This time my automation should be completely fine. We'll go to in progress and we'll just refresh the page once. And boom, as expected. So it printed our current year, then the last two digits of our current year, then it printed our past year, and also printed the last two digits of past year using mathematical smart values. And lastly, it printed our next version or next year, and also the last two digits of our next version using smart values. Now, this was a really, really simple example. Now, let's take a real world or practical scenario. Imagine your company maintains 3 active releases, such as these. A customer reports a bug in version 3.2 or 2.2 or something. The automation creates variables for current release, previous release, and next release. Then the rule automatically creates linked bugs, assigns developers, adds comment mentioning all the affected versions, updates your dashboards, and send notification to QA. So instead of repeatedly writing the same smart values throughout the automation, we simply reference our variables. Now this keeps the automation organized and much easier to update later on. Now, you might be wondering why variables are useful to me. So, variables basically offer several advantages. Firstly, they make our automation rules easier to read. Instead of long smart values repeated multiple times, you define them once and you're good to go. Second, they improve maintainability. If a value changes, you only update it in one place. You don't have to update it in multiple places because you're already using a variable that you just have to update that variable. Thirdly, they reduce duplication and make complex automations much cleaner. And finally, they allow you to perform calculations, manipulate text, and reuse results across multiple actions within the same automation tool. Now, whenever you're using variables, there are a few best practices to keep in mind. First is to give them a meaningful name instead of naming them something like var1 or maybe just IJK or just a random gibberish. Use a descriptive names instead. Like I used in my current tutorial, that was create current version or release year or something like that. That actually tells you what that variable holds, gives you a brief idea of what that variable holds. This makes your automation much more easier to understand when you revisit it months later. Also, remember that variables only exist while the automation is running. While the rules, once the rule finishes, those variables disappear automatically. All right, that's it for today's tutorial. Today we learned how to create variables inside Jira. We also use them like smart values. We manipulated our strings, we performed some simple mathematical operations, and we simplified complex automation rules. So, although create variable is a small feature, it can make a huge difference when you're building larger automation rules with multiple actions. I hope you found this video helpful and learned something new today. If you like the content, please consider liking the channel, liking the video, and sharing it with someone else who you think will also like our video. If you're new to our channel, please consider subscribing and sharing and hitting that and hit that bell icon so that you're always informed about all our latest releases and uploads. And if you are interested in some Forge apps, feel free to check out the links inside our description box below. There are a couple of Forge apps there, so feel free to download whatever fits your preference and requirements. That's it for today's video. I'll hope to see you in the next one. Till then, thank you and bye bye.